So today we're going to be talking about slope, which we've talked about before, but we're also introducing this concept of y-intercept. So this short video, I'm going to show you how it looks from a graph, which is very easy, and then another video I'll show you about how it looks in an equation. Okay? So what you need to write down is y-intercept, and then just sketch a graph that looks like this. Just kind of sketch it. But the thing that you need to know is that the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay? So if you don't know, this is the y-axis. That's the x-axis. So something called a y-intercept, which it's very, very, very important concept in algebra, is where the line crosses the y-axis. So real quickly here, the y-intercept is at 2 because this line crosses the y-axis at 2. So your teacher could have you put, depending on your teacher, y-intercept is 2. But how I want you to write it is as a point. So think, if you have a point, so we have a point, right? This point here, if you were to plot it, 2 is on the y-axis, right? So you would have a 2 where the y goes, and then this is basically 0 on the x-axis, 0. So if you were to plot it as a point, make it look prettier, the point would be 0, 2, okay? 0, 2. And something you can just remember is that if you're dealing with a y-intercept, then x is always 0. And that'll come into play later. Okay? So, very simple, you just look at it. Now, don't draw this, but this is an example of a x and y axis that they drew over a picture. And then they drew a line. And the y-intercept here would be basically where those two things cross. So this would be a y-intercept. Okay? Another example is an example from Angry Birds. So here's the y-axis and here's the x-axis. And it crosses right here. So this is the y-intercept right here. Okay? Pretty simple. Right here is another, you don't have to draw this, you will sum in a couple seconds. Here you have an x and y axis and a line, and it touches the y-axis right here. So that is the y-intercept. Okay? Another thing I want you to know, and go ahead and I'll type it, you write it, is that the y-intercept is where you start. This word start. Basically where you start off. So, you know, when you're doing word problems and it's like, whenever I go over there and I'm like, well, how much do you have right now, or what are you starting with? You know, that's what the y-intercept is. So here, if you look, we have miles driven, total cost. So you're starting already with like $32, and then it keeps going up the more you drive. Okay, so there you go. All right, so finding y-intercept from graphs just real quickly. So you're going to see graphs, and I'm going to ask you, what is the y-intercept? This is very simple. So the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So this red line crosses the y-axis right here at 1. Okay? However, I want you to write it as a point, so that is 0, 1. So I just want you to sketch that real quick and then put 0, 1, and that's it. You'd probably, on your homework assignment, you'd probably put the y-intercept is 0, 1. Not homework, classwork. Okay? It's also going to ask you for the slope, and then this is review, so you should say that the slope is positive because it's going up. So the slope is positive, if I can spell positive. Okay? So, you know, don't forget all the slope stuff we've learned. It's positive slope, and then it crosses the y-axis at 0, 1. Okay? All right, so let's do this one. So what is the y-intercept? This is a little different because it goes a different way, but basically that line crosses the y-axis here at -5. So the y-intercept is 0, -5. Okay, that should not be, that's pretty simple, right? And then what type of slope is that? Well, it's straight across, so the slope is 0 slope. So it is 0 slope, or however you want to write that, because it's going across. Okay? What if it looks like this? This is a special case. So sketch this real quick. Pause if you need to. Here's where you, it's different because the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. Well, this line does not cross the y-axis ever. So basically you're going to put there is no y-intercept. Okay? Because it never ever crosses the y-axis. And then what type of slope is that? And hopefully you remember from your notes, or you could go back. The slope is either no slope or undefined. However you want to write it, because it's going straight up and down. Okay? sketch this graph real quick. You'll see a lot of them like this, and a lot of kids kind of freak out about it because they're like, well, there's nothing there. Well, there is. Okay? So what is the y-intercept here? Well, this line crosses right here at the origin. And what is the y value there? And the y value there is 0. So the y-intercept is just 0, 0. Whoa. There. I can't type. There you go. Okay? And then is it a positive, negative, 0, or no slope? And you're going to say the slope is positive. Okay? All pretty simple. You're just finding out where it crosses. Now, I won't do that one. Eventually, you're going to see a y-intercept where it's like halfway between, and I'll show you how to do that later. For all the ones on your assignment, they should hit at a particular point. Okay? If you have questions, let me know.